Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the fascinating, layered psychology behind a behavior you've absolutely witnessed, but, well, maybe never fully understood. We're unpacking exactly why some people choose to sit in public spaces completely and totally unplugged.
I want you to picture this. You're waiting in a busy transit hub, or maybe you're grabbing a table at a packed coffee shop. Just look around at the chaotic, heads-down digital crowd for a second. Literally, almost everyone is hunched over, rapidly scrolling through feeds or frantically checking notifications. But then, you spot them. That one comfortable, observant anomaly who is just sitting there, taking in the physical world. Now, you know how it is. Our modern brains immediately assume, oh, they definitely forgot their charger, or they must be out of data. But psychology tells us a totally different story. This isn't about a dead battery at all. It's a deliberate, conscious choice. It's actually a hidden psychological adaptation used by people who are prioritizing mental clarity over digital distraction.
So let's peel back the very first layer, the instinct for presence.
For some individuals, their brain is literally just wired naturally to process real-time physical stimuli way more than digital ones. This is known as environmental presence. What's really wild here is that psychology suggests growing up in unpredictable environments actually trains these individuals to stay highly alert. Because in their past, noticing subtle changes in the environment or shifting emotional cues could signal danger. So their mind learns to prioritize spatial control and scanning for sounds just to maintain a baseline sense of safety.
And you know, this instinct is incredibly common in those who grew up playing the role of the invisible child. These are individuals who spent way more time observing their surroundings than actively participating in them. Because of that, they develop this almost radar-like ability to notice shifts in tone, behavior, and the subtle moods of the people around them. Stays comfortably in the background, fully aware of the entire room. That feels significantly safer to them than turning off their physical senses to stare into a screen.
Which brings us right to layer 2, creating a safety buffer.
Public spaces are, let's face it, already incredibly loud, crowded, and just bursting with sensory information. But for a highly sensitive person, or an HSP, the physical world is already dialed up to 11. Their brain processes emotional and sensory details way more deeply than average. This means a completely normal environment, like a busy cafe, can feel incredibly intense and demanding. To put that into perspective, just imagine their mental bandwidth like a pie chart. 35% of their energy is instantly eaten up by physical noise, crowds, traffic, you name it. Another 35% is dedicated just to processing emotional details and cues in the room. So if they pull out their phone, they're directly piling that remaining 30%, the digital crowd of videos and notifications, right on top of an already massive, exhausting load.
So, by simply keeping that phone out of sight, they are actively preventing cognitive overload. It isn't an accident. It's a very intentional strategy. That pocketed phone provides a grounding, quiet pause that lets their mind rest and restore its energy right in the middle of chaos. It's literally a protective safety buffer between them and complete sensory exhaustion.
Okay, moving right along to layer 3, living inside the experience. In today's society, we have this absolutely immense urge for digital documentation. We whip out our phones to escape a slightly awkward moment of silence, or to visually capture an event, kind of like we need solid proof that we were even there. But our phoneless stranger, they lean heavily into emotional immersion. They have this deep desire to fully, authentically inhabit the present moment without letting a screen get in the way. This is absolutely crucial because it completely shifts how we think about memory. As the quote says, they don't store memories visually, instead, they experience them emotionally. For these folks, interrupting a genuine public moment to frame a perfect photo feels incredibly artificial. They value the pure authenticity of an experience so deeply that they just let it pass, soaking in the emotional impact without ever needing digital proof. And finally, we hit the deepest emotional level, layer 4, dropping the social mask.
Let's be totally real for a second. How many times have you used your phone as a literal shield? It is so common to stare at a screen just to look busy or important. It's a social mask to avoid the sheer awkwardness of standing totally alone in a crowd. But the people who choose to stay unplugged, they rely on internal validation. They place very little value on external approval. They simply don't get that big emotional reward from likes, comments, or online visibility, so they just don't need a digital audience to feel secure in their own skin.
Because their validation comes from within, they are perfectly 100% comfortable just being unseen in the crowd. They don't need to broadcast their existence to the world. In fact, staying quietly in the background feels emotionally safer and way more natural to them. They can just exist without having to perform for anyone, physically or digitally.
So let's tie all of these layers together. Conclusion: attention as a resource. This behavior, sitting alone, present with one's thoughts, it isn't out of touch. It's definitely not antisocial. It is a profound, quiet shift in how the mind prioritizes real-life experiences and private thoughts over the endless hum of digital noise. It shows us a highly adapted brain that fiercely guards its attention and protects its peace of mind at literally all costs. The human mind has some truly remarkable ways of adapting, doesn't it? And, the more we understand these hidden, everyday behaviors, the better we understand each other. If you enjoyed this explainer and loved learning the hidden psychology behind this, definitely make sure to subscribe so we can keep exploring the fascinating secrets of the mind together. Now, I want to leave you with this. The next time you find yourself at a bus stop, in a waiting room, or just caught in a quiet pause, and you feel that automatic itch to reach for your pocket, take a breath and ask yourself, how are you protecting your peace of mind today? Maybe, just for a moment, try being the phoneless stranger. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.